Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to look at how to update or make adjustments to your on-call rota for an upcoming planned event. The first thing we can do is make a change to our department on-call note. This is the information between the title of your rota and the rota itself that provides users a brief description about how to get hold of your team. To change this, click on Departments. Find your rota and select the one you wish to make changes to. Click on the heading View and Edit Information, and then click on View Department On-Call Note. Here we can make changes to the note just by clicking the Edit button and typing in the free type box. Once done, click Update. When we go back to our rota, you can see that under the title, our update now appears for everyone to see. The other thing we can do is update the role contact information. This is the green text under the title of each role. So for example, if the consultant on wards was now going to be available on their personal mobile, we can go Departments, find the department we wish to update, selecting the rota to make changes to, go View and Edit Information, View Roles, find the role that needs to be updated, click Edit, and Edit to unlock. We can see the field role contact, and this is again a free type box you can type your message into. Once all is correct, click Update, and again we can see this has worked by finding our rota, and underneath Consultant Ward, we can now see our new message. The next thing we can do is add a note to a particular person covering a role. This is for when they have a change in how they wish to be contacted that's specific to them and not to the role itself. We have Dr. Harmon that's covering the consultant ED and referral, and it says via the contact center on mobile. But let's say their mobile's run out of battery and they're going to be using an extension in the ED department to be contacted. To add this message, click on the person's name, and we're now going to click on the link that says add a new note for this rota slot. Adding it to the rota slot means that once the shift ends, the note will not reappear for the next person covering. When we click the link, we now again have a free type box where we can type our message. Once the message has been added, we have a button called Public. If you tick this box, all members of staff within the trust will be able to see this note. If you leave the message unticked, the only people that can see this note are the agents working in the contact center. When ready, click Insert. We can see the note has appeared on the record here, and if we go back to the day and have a look, we can now see a note has been added. These first examples are useful when the structure of your on-call team is not changing during a planned event, but there are some times when the structure does change. Next, we're going to look at what happens when a planned event means we have to change the structure of our on-call rota in Rotawatch. On the right, we've received an email from one of our colleagues informing us of changes to the on-call role, and we now need to reflect these changes into Rotawatch. We can see that the consultant for ED covering is still available. We've also been informed that the specialist nurse service is unaffected, but the ward consultant and registrar will not be available, so we'll need to hide these roles during the planned days. There are also two brand new roles to ensure that doctors can cover the wards during these days that we need to add. So let's begin by clicking on Departments, find our rota, select the rota that we need to make changes to, and click View and Edit Information. We're then going to click on View Roles. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the two new roles that we can see in our rota, the Ward Cover 1 and the Ward Cover 2. To do this, we're going to add another role, and we're then going to fill in the details for the role name, the start time, how long it lasts for, and any role contact information. Once all the information is in, click Insert. We're now going to repeat that process to add our remaining role. You can now see both new roles have been added, and we're ready to now fill in the rota. Going back to our departments, we're going to look for the heading View Rotawatch and click the button View Rota. So here is the rota as it currently looks. First thing we're going to do is hide any roles which are not going to be available during the planned event. To hide a role, go Please Choose and look for the option Other NA. When you use Other NA, it tells Rotawatch for that day to not display that role to the trust because it's not required or needed. So I'm now going to click Update under each name for the consultant ward, and you'll see that it's updated to say that it's swapped. And then I'm going to do the same again for our registrar roles. Remember, you only need to do this for roles that are not going to be available during the planned event. As we scroll along, we can see our 2 new roles which need to be filled in. It's important that any days before the planned event should be marked as NA, otherwise these will still display on each of those days for everyone to see. So looking at our email, we can see the names of the individuals, and by clicking on our drop down and finding the names, we can add these in. And you'll see how quick this is to do. Now we have 2 days where the days are being covered in part by 2 different on-call members of the team. This is really easy to set up. To start with, in this view, put the first name the person starting the shift in. This is done the same way by clicking the name and dropping them in. Now that the first name is in, what we do is we go View Any Rota Date, find the day which is being covered by 2 individuals, and find your rota. So we can see for ward cover 1, it's currently set as Dr. Downer, and now we need to add our next person. We're going to click Edit under the name, and under the person drop down, we pick the doctor covering the second part of the on-call role. Add a reason. Now before hitting update, we're going to tick the box that says auto change. What auto change allows you to do is tell Rotawatch when you want this individual to start covering the role. So we know, looking at here, that this is going to happen at 12 noon. It will then ask when you want the change to revert back. If they're covering just for a few hours, you can pick a new time. Otherwise, scroll straight to the bottom and click End of Shift. When you click Update, you'll now see that it says Change Pending under the role. And when we click on the name, under Auto Change, we can see the name of the person that will take over later in the shift, the time they will take over, and the reason. I hope what's been shown in this video you'll find useful in updating your rota ready for any current or future planned events. It's important to make sure that if you've added any roles, that these are deactivated once the plan event's over. To do this, find your rota, click on the heading View and Edit Information, and View Roles. And for each of these roles, we're going to click Edit, Edit again, and by unticking all 3 options and clicking Update, you'll now see when we go back to roles, It has hidden the role by moving it to your inactive list. Thank you for watching. There are more videos on Connect on our Rotawatch page that you may find useful that go into more specific detail about what I've shown you today. Or if you need any guidance on how to make these changes, you can also email us at cuh.rotawatch@nhs.net.